All right, here we go. So let's I'm going to just, for the recording, I'm going to just basically say we're on principle 3, business strategy. Um, and let's have a conversation really quick. This will require that you unmute yourself, but there is a graph on page 97 of the conversion ratios of things to do in real estate. And so for those of you who may have never seen this, I think this is really eye-opening. Here's the graph right here. And so what do you, I mean, cold direct mail, 2,000 to 1. And granted, I want you to notice the source of this is the National Association of Realtors. Door knocking, 100 to 1. I'm assuming that's 100 doors in which you actually talked to somebody, not just 100 doors that you knocked on. Don't know. Personal contact with friends, 50 to 1. And walk-ins, which I'm sure we're obviously not really getting any of those now, but open houses, 15 to 1. And we'll talk about, at a later time, we'll talk about the ninja way of doing an open house. Past buyers, 9 to 1, past sellers, 4 to 1, and then obviously referrals, 3 to 2. So this isn't me. This isn't my statistics. This is based on data you guys are providing. And so I'd just love to have a quick conversation and hear your guys' opinion, especially for those of you who might be new. I mean, I think one of the most frustrating things in the whole entire world is to get into this industry. You go work for a brokerage because you have to, obviously, and then everyone wants to help you. I think everyone is just unbelievably kind and wants to help you. And so they're giving you information of what has worked for them. And so they might be giving you information on cold calling. They might, or on lead gen and learning how to create leads through Facebook. They might be talking to you about a door knocking campaign. All of which, I'll be the first one to admit that anything that you try and anything that you ultimately do consistently will probably work. But what are your guys' thoughts on these statistics over here? And I think here, I'll just unmute everyone. That'll be faster. Anyone have any comments on either hey, I don't believe these stats because I door knock and I have it's amazing for me, or is everyone trying to work off of referrals? Is that the goal?
What page is that again, Craig?
That is page 97.
97?
Yeah.
What are ad calls?
Ad calls would be, that would be doing an ad, say either in Facebook or, I mean, it probably depends, but I would assume that it's some kind of call that comes to you based off of an ad.
And then sign calls, are you calling on like for sale by owner signs or something, or what sign calls?
I believe that would be people calling you off of a sign that you have in a listing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm not positive. Somebody else can probably somebody else with a little more history can give me a probably better idea.
I'm new, so I don't have any stats on any of this, so.
No, I agree totally with these stats. The more cold contact it is, the less chance you have of connecting with them. You've got to be consistent over time and start warming up to them. So I call it push marketing instead of attraction marketing.
Right.
When you're trying to push yourself on people, like cold calling and knocking on doors and pushing yourself when nobody knows who you are, it's an uphill battle. But when you've warmed up, they've gained and earned your trust, or you've earned their trust, you have a better chance of connecting and getting that business.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michelle. I couldn't agree more with this. I hear of agents who are spending tens of thousands of dollars a month on leads, whether those are from Zillow or whether those are from Facebook. And again, I'm not here to necessarily say that those don't work. Some people make quite a great living off of doing that. I am, however, here to kind of question what you could do with tens of thousands of dollars if you were spending it on your own sphere of influence, whether that's doing events or whether that's doing pop buys or whatever, because I'm a gambling man. I enjoy the gamble and I like to play the odds. And so when I see information like this that's presented to me from probably, I'm sure, quite the statistics, then I want to play the odds. And I've just seen it play out. I've seen it that, you know, your referrals from friends and family and people who know, like, and trust you, those just tend to work out. And yet, I don't know. There are people who have, you know, who do not enjoy reaching out to their friends and family. They might feel awkward about that or feel intrusive, I guess. And again, I have my opinion of that. My opinion doesn't tend to usually change other people's opinion. But you know, the service that you guys provide is unbelievable. The Facebook page is just Ninja. Let me see real quickly, because if you're going to try and share that with somebody, let me just get that link for you. 1 second, everyone.
Hey, so I read the book, finished the book over the weekend, which
Yes.
I believe all these stats, even though I'm brand new and I haven't done anything yet. I think they're probably accurate. And when you read the book, I don't know if anyone in here hasn't read the book, but yeah, I definitely recommend it. It all makes absolutely sense. And just working the people you're close to, your sphere of influence, I can see how it totally will work out. The interesting thing on some of this stuff is, let's just say you moved to a brand new market. Maybe you moved from out of state and you come here, or one of us moves out of town and decides to start their real estate career in a new city. Then what do you do? Because you don't have a sphere of influence then.
Well, that is actually an amazing question, and I have some ideas and I have some answers. And in fact, one of the people on the call today, hopefully he'll share some of his experience, because he moved to St. George, and I think he's doing something wonderful to start.
Oh, I would love to hear that. That's where I want to go.
Oh.
I need to talk to that person.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll hear from him here in a minute. But so yeah, I apologize. Again, I am having some weird issues with this new Zoom account. So for whatever crazy reason, it is not letting me copy and paste information in there. The Ninja, anyway, I will get it on for you by the end of the meeting, and I will get this out to everybody. This is being recorded, so it will get out to everybody. But to continue on, sorry, go ahead.
Going back to your question of about the sphere, you know, versus trying to go out direct.
No.
Most people assume that they have to go out and get new business. It's always about what's the new shiny object, you know, how many leads can I buy? And, you know, all these things that they think are the magic button to the business. And your sphere of influence for most agents is over 70% of your referral business, of any business that's coming in. That's statistically across the board, 70%. And I know that's been with my business. And if you don't focus on the people who already know you and the people you've already done business with, I mean, you've already won them. Why not keep staying in front of them? Because those past clients who loved you become your raving fans. And they're the ones who are going to help you with your business because you took care of them, if you take care of them properly. So, you know, if you really focus on your past clients, all the people who know, like, and trust you, then that's where you spend more time, or you spend less money, but that's more of your business. That's where it's coming from. And so many agents flip it. They think that they've got to spend 70% of their time trying to find new business and only maybe 30%, a lot of time less, on their past clients and their sphere. And really, if you were to take the money that you're thinking of putting into cold leads and invest it into a referral business for yourself with your sphere of influence, and really take care of people and serve people, they will take care of you, and you won't ever have to spend another dime, because they're going to love you and they're going to help you run your business.
Absolutely. And that, even though you are new, and even if you are deciding to move to St. George, my advice, just off of reading the book, would also still be to connect with your sphere of influence. I mean, let's face it, everyone in Salt Lake is buying a second home down there.
There's some. Yep.
The mere fact that the person that you know, that knows you and likes and trusts you, they are the ones who are, their neighbor's going to move down there. Their friend at work is going to move down there, and they're then calling you and saying, hey, I've got a friend who's moving down there. Again, it just is, and we're going to get into it right now in greater detail of know, like, and trust. But there is an exercise, and we'll do this at the very end of this month, because we'll go through a business planning session. And one of the things that Ninja has you do in your business planning is do is to go back through the history. And I know you don't have any, Thad, specifically, but when I did this, which was to go through the, they don't call it history, they call it something else. It's almost better. It's like, go back through the ancestry of your deals, and find out who is the original source of your deal. And when I did that, I found that a majority of my deals were coming from one individual who's not even in the industry, just a dear friend of mine who literally can't seem to go to a party or go anywhere in the world. And if somebody brings up mortgages, or brings up real estate, or brings up anything related to real estate, I'm going to get a phone call. I'm going to receive a phone call from this person. And, I would rather spend money on getting her a gift, or taking her to dinner, or, whatever, because I mean, she's a gold mine of referrals, and those referrals always tend to work out, or are, clearly way better than referrals. I mean, I have experience of having tried to do the other thing. Corbin and I spent quite a bit of money in building a website and a brand and everything to attract newlyweds, thinking that newlyweds were going to be the people who, first time home buyers. And we even gave away some honeymoon. We were very creative. And I'll tell you, in the end of the day, these people just didn't know, like, and trust us. In fact, a couple of people who won and ended up using a different lender, a lender of either the real estate agent, a lender of, mom and dad's best friend. And it didn't matter that we had spent lots of money and time and effort on building, supposedly trying to build a relationship, when quite honestly, I wish we would have taken that money and spent it on the people who already know, like, and trust us, and who are our friends. So the know, like, and trust, for those of you, again, if you're in the book, we've taken up quite a bit of time, but the know, like, and trust, you can just read that. 98, 99, and 100 is a little bit about know, like, and trust. Again, these are the people who should be in that database. Hopefully you have downloaded, if you don't already have access to a CRM system through your brokerage, or that you already had previous to that. Again, there is the realoffice360.com. It's completely free. Right now is a great opportunity to reach out to people and ask for an address. And we're going to talk about events, and we're going to talk about getting in flow with them in just a minute here. So speaking of flow, right at the top of page 101, I just highlighted, it says consistency is the key to referrals. And so that's part of the know, like, and trust. People are going to trust you if they can count on you. Do you know what you're doing? Do you have the time and resources to solve their problem? Are you consistent in looking at and are you consistent in your look and behavior? So consistency is the key to referrals. So flow, what is flow? Frequency of interaction. I created, again, it's on the Facebook page. This is kind of the first one I've ever done. It is called the Flow Newsletter. So it's just a PDF right now. You'd have to download it. But I decided to just do, oops, a couple of people. I decided to start doing kind of a flow newsletter, and inside of that newsletter, you're going to find lots of resources for different kinds of flow possibilities. And so hopefully you get a chance to look at that. I've also put in, and unfortunately I realized my mistake of calling them both flow calendars. One, however, is a calendar in which I have put months on there and then given you ideas of ways you could get in flow with your agents, some creative ideas. And it's all based off of giving every single month kind of a theme. And that, it seemed like it was a good idea, but it almost, I believe, confused people. And so the other flow calendar that I've provided for you looks something like this. And right at the top of it, you're going to see links to different resources that are possibilities of flow for you. And then all I've done is, and I've changed it in yours, which is it'll say May, June, and July. Is what I'd like before Thursday is for you to plan. Oh, thank you, Dawn. Dawn said you can't buy trust and a relationship. That is true. I've tried. But I would like for you to plan what it is you're going to do. We're going to just assume in our plan that the world is going to go back to some form of normal where we can socialize again together in an office space or at an event potentially. And worst case scenario, we have to change that. We have to do something new. But there's an opportunity in this thing for you to decide, oh, and I'm going to send a postcard, or I'm going to do sensations. And it'll make sense here in just a minute. But really, flow is not something that you can just create on the fly. I see too many people, they know that, again, let me go back to the definition. Flow is your frequency of interaction. And Ninja will say that the ideal amount of interaction that you should have with your clients is 3 to 4 times a month. They would say that preferably 2 of those items go out via snail mail. Get in the mailbox and get to your clients. Another little tip there is whenever possible, do it in the form of a postcard, or I've got an example here. It's actually listed there on your information as personal marketing companies. So this is a flyer. This is a newsletter that an agent who is a ninja puts out. And so this is her newsletter. And what I love about it is on the front, it has her picture and her information. On the back, it has her picture and her information. This newsletter is combining. Now, this might be, Ninja will say that for every person in your database, the average you're going to spend is $2 a month. So 200 people, you're going to spend $400 on producing flow. Now that might be possible, depending on how you do it. You might choose to go something a little more expensive, but that's kind of the average, just for budgeting and planning. But this one I think would take people a little bit out of the budget. But wow, I do like its presentation, and if you can do it on your own. If you can create this or work with your brokerage and create something like this, she's got a lot of cool features in it. There's a recipe. And so one of the items that is on your handout is called sensations.com. Sensations.com, fairly inexpensive. It's a postcard. It looks like this. It can have real estate tips, or it can actually have a recipe. And
I don't like the recipes, Craig, because we're real estate agents. We're not chefs. You know, we're really should be focused on how to help them prepare for the future financially, how to get their home in the best condition possible. Honestly and truly, how many people are going to keep your recipe card and remember you as a real estate agent? So the newsletter that you had, for those of you who are iPro Realty agents, we have Breakthrough Broker that has a lot of different templates that you can create those type of mail outs. And you can also get a lender involved, as Craig knows, you know, to help with some of the marketing aspects, as long as they can market on that as well. So there's ways you can get around the expense of it too.
Just a side note,
Yep.
I am doing a class on Breakthrough Broker and some of the other third-party companies that provide free products like the newsletter, like Craig is showing, or recipe cards or whatever, on Thursday for our Tech Thursday. So Thursday at 11 a.m., I'll be teaching you how to set all that up so that you have access to all of this free stuff, okay?
Perfect.
Hey,
So,
Craig, Jody here. Can I just add something real quick?
oh yeah. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're on, Jody. I was going to just about tell your story.
Oh, cool. Well, I
You
was
do
just
it better
gonna
than
say,
I do.
on the recipe card note, I send them actually, and I've been sending them for about 15 years. And I tried to stop them a few years ago because I wondered about how ridiculous people thought they were, and I had an overwhelming amount of people call me and ask for them back. So I would say it depends on your database. My database knows I do real estate, and I send them recipe cards.
And it depends on your consistency too. Like you say, you've done it for 15 years, and so you created a pattern of items that people expected to receive. And so all of a sudden, when they don't get one, it's breaking the norm for them, and so they freak out. So
Right.
I appreciate you sharing that story, Jody.
You bet.
Yeah.
Hey, Craig,
Yes, sir. Yes. Whoever, speak up.
I think that the point that's being missed here is that it's just some form of contact. It doesn't have to be a recipe card. It doesn't have to be, you know, whatever. It just has to be that you are connecting with them. That's the point of flow, is that you are engaging with them in some way. And yeah, maybe recipe cards is what it is. Maybe it's you know, talking about something that's of interest in another way, but it's just some way to reach out to them, to let them know that you care, to let them know that you have some kind of vested interest in them, that you're not just saying, hey, buy a home from me, but, you know, are you ready to list your home with me? It's a way to help them see that you care about them in ways other than real estate, but then to also remind them that you are a realtor, that you are top of mind. And so when they are ready to do something, then they're going to use your services.
That's a great point, Brian. And once again, what you're saying and what Jody was saying is consistency is the key. It really is, you guys. I train agents all the time, and I have agents that say, Don, I sent 2 out and I never got any response. Well, 2 isn't going to cut it. Okay. You've got to commit yourself over a period of time to do something consistently to show them that you care. You know, Brian Buffini says the old adage that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That is so true. So that's the key. So thank you, Brian, for bringing that up. And Craig, thank you. Okay.
Yeah. No, again, I think that's exactly what it said here, is that consistency is the key to referrals. And again, you're all correct. I mean, they're touch points, and whatever works best for you. I mean, as some of you well know, having been receiving, now it's been, as of yesterday, it was 15 weeks that I have been sending out consistently every single Monday an email with what is flow for me and what people would expect from me. It's just a question of the week, and it's part of my Connect 52 program. And man, I sent it out last night, and through Constant Contact. I use the database to collect all the people. Then I transfer it over to Constant Contact and then send out that email. And I bet in an hour, 110 people had opened up that email. I don't know how much time they spent with it. I don't know how much time they looked at it or utilized the question or did whatever they did with it. But hopefully, you know, they're seeing my information, my contact information, and that is just a touch point for me. And it's the foundation of my flow, because bare minimum that goes out once a week. That's 4 times a month that I'm sending them hopefully an email that is not necessarily just thrown in the garbage, but that is looked at because it has some value. You know, Michelle, I'm like you. I thought for sure I would not be interested in anyone's stupid recipe cards. I come from the restaurant industry. I used to even own a food magazine. I'm the one who's kind of told people about Sensations, or it's been recommended. And this real estate agent, I knew he was going to send it to me. I mean, he asked me for my address, and then lo and behold, this sat on my refrigerator, and I ended up making it. So I
Well,
have no idea.
well, Sensations does have another product also. It's a comedy postcards, which I think they're fantastic. So, but they're not highlighted on their site. You got to kind of dig for them a little bit, but it's the comedy series, and the front picture is something really wild, real funny, crazy stuff. And then on the back side, it's you represent, and it's something about real estate, but it's in a goofy, fun way. And I think it just is more entertaining, you know, and people remember you when they go, oh, I get your crazy cards all the time. I love those pictures that are on there. So, you know, there's some other options, and everybody has to do things differently for their business and their clients.
Yeah.
My experience in 23 years, recipe cards didn't work.
Yeah.
But if it works for somebody, but it goes back to being consistent, and you've got to do it on a regular basis and stay in front of people, because you never know when they're going to be ready to pull the trigger on buying or selling a home.
That's
And
right.
you've got to be there.
And Michelle, in defense of what Michelle is saying, you know, like she just said, recipe cards didn't work for her. Do you know what? Maybe you're sending something out, and maybe you have a different profile of potential clients that you're marketing to, and so maybe there's something that you find that's not working for you. And so I think again, the name of the game is consistency, but sometimes within that consistency, you have to evolve. You have to, if one thing's not working, then you try another thing. And you keep the numbers, because the numbers are important, because once you strike on something that is working, then you know, I've hit on something, okay? So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do this particular thing, you know, a little more. For Jody, recipe cards work. For Michelle, the comedy cards work, you know? So I think remember, you guys, we all have different personalities, okay? So everybody that you're sending things to, all of those people are going to have different personalities too. And there's some that are going to relate to recipe cards and some that aren't going to like them. But you have to keep the numbers so that you can see what, you know, what results you're getting off of those things, or else it doesn't do any good anyway. So.
No, I agree. And I love the idea of, and again, Ninja saying 3 to 4 times a month, 2 of them potentially for the best results, 2 of them being something that go in the mail. So again, without a plan, and again, for those of you who might be newer in the industry, this is an opportunity for you to sit down and investigate all of these different options that are available to you to get out there and create a system, create your plan of what you're going to send out. So I'm going to continue on with the power of flow, page 102. There's just some interesting statistics. You guys might chime in with your history. These are national statistics, not just here in Utah, but 65% said that they would definitely use the realtor again, as well as refer them to friends. 19% said they would probably use the same real estate agent again, as well as refer them to friends. A total of 84% said they would definitely or probably use and refer their real estate agent. On the next transaction, how many actually use that same real estate agent? Just 25%, 1 in 4. And
That's because people aren't reminding them, you're not reminding them of who they did business with before. And usually it's, you know, a 6-year turnaround for another sale. And so 6 years later, they're like, oh, we love that agent, but we don't remember who that was. So then they're on to the next person. So you're not staying consistent in front of them. They don't remember you.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. You know, with home buyers, the results are even more shocking. 73%. Anyway, it goes down to this time only 12% use the real estate agent on their next transaction with home buyers. The first one was with listings. So what happened? On average, customers know 12 real estate agents. So they have a lot of choices. How do they pick with which one? And
And
again,
if they live in Utah, they know 50. That's been my experience since I moved here. And, you know, Thad had asked about moving across the country, moving to another area. I moved from Mississippi to Utah. So that's a huge difference in lots of different aspects. And yeah, I swear everybody I meet knows. It's like everybody they know is a real estate agent. So there's a lot of competition here.
there is a lot of competition here, and you do have to stay in front of your people. So I like this information right here. Again, I'm on page 103 for anyone who wants to follow along or highlight, but it says, from the time buyers and sellers first get the inspiration to do something until they have a closing takes from 9.3 to 21 months. And during that time, they select a real estate agent in just 72 hours. Their choice is quick and arbitrary, based primarily on flow. The real estate agent they were most recently in flow with during this 72 hours is the realtor who has their top of mind awareness. The real estate agent becomes the realtor of choice. So, you know, I don't know exactly how true that is. I'm sure that's not true for all people, but I think it's just something good to keep in mind of, and they give a story, and I can see this happening. I mean, we've all had the experience where the neighbor or the friend, I mean, maybe for some of you it's been forever since this happened, but I'm sure for all of us, we've had somebody who we thought would just automatically think of us and decided to go with somebody else or use somebody else. And so, you know, and this part right here goes to marketing as well. So chapter 24, you're either visible or invisible. Flow is the lifeblood and the oxygen of your relationships and your business. Flow is what makes you visible and keeps you top of mind. There are two kinds of flow: auto flow and live flow. And so the difference being, auto flow is the postcard that just goes out. It's the newsletter that just goes out. It's the whatever flow that you have that is just automated and goes out automatically. Your live flow is picking up the phone and having a conversation. And I was asked yesterday and was grateful to participate in a conversation with him at Empower Real Estate, in which we talked about the opportunity right now to do live flow is, I think, historic. And I think we have a greater opportunity than ever to reach out and connect. And I know Brian has shared a video that Ninja put out, and in which they basically give you some questions. And one of them is just asking people how they're feeling. You know, you as a real estate agent, I joked around yesterday that I probably spent more money at Costco than I have with any one of you. And yet no one from Costco has called me up and said, "Hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling?" And yet I just think there's such an opportunity to reach out right now and ask people how they're doing. I think that will stand out to them at some point in time, whether they're interested in buying or selling right now. But I think at some point in time that will stand out to them, and that you were the person to do that. It's also this opportunity to look for pleasure and pain. And I know we've already discussed this, but as if you want to use this opportunity to look for pleasure and pain, whether that be on social media or whether that be in your live flow, your phone calls, your text messages, your Marco Polos, if you will. This is an opportunity to check in with your database and see how they're doing. They are most likely going to share a lot of pain, and maybe some of that pain you might have a solution to. Some of that pain might be related to their home and to their mortgage, and you might be able to help them with some education on forbearance programs, or or how to contact their mortgage company if they've lost a job, those kinds of things. So I think just historically, we've never seen a time like this. I suspect that most of you would never even be on this Zoom call right now if it weren't for the fact that you're all stuck at home. And so keep that in mind, that in the next, hopefully what will only be a couple more weeks, you have an opportunity to connect like never before. And so the thing I wanted to really bring up that I think is of one of the greatest flow opportunities, and I'm going to let Brian speak to this is, these are events. Events to me are one of the great, and events can be lots of things. Events can be the event that your brokerage is hosting. The event can be something you're personally hosting. An event can be a collaboration that you're having with a friend who wants to teach all of your clients about the solar system. I don't know, but there are lots of opportunities for events. But here's why I love events and why I think they are so great for flow. Because if I create an event, then I have to invite everybody, and I can invite them via Facebook. I can create an event on Facebook or on many different platforms. I can send that out to people via text, via email, via every kind of social platform that there is. I can call people and remind them about the event. I can text people about it. So I think there's just multiple opportunities. People tend to not mind being hit up for or reminded of an event. And I've hosted Ninja events, I've hosted Connect 52 events, I've hosted all kinds of events. I mean, this is an event of sorts, and it provides me lots of opportunity to stay in flow or stay in contact with people. And so Brian Powell, who's down in St. George, he actually created an event through service. And I'd love for him to just take just a minute and share. He only got an opportunity to do it a couple of times before the coronavirus hit. But Brian, will you share with everyone kind of what you did and then how that created some database opportunities and some opportunities in your new area?
Yeah, thanks. So to Thad's question, when I moved here to St. George, looking for ways to connect and to reach out to people that I don't know. Obviously, my database isn't as strong here. I have since made friends and contacts, but not over the course of my real estate career like I had when I was in Arizona or even up north for a little bit. I didn't have that type of database to work with. So I started a thing called the Kindness Adventures. And what it was is, like Craig said, is just a service project that I was able to reach out for things in the community, things that were happening, and look for ways to serve others and to be involved. And so what I did was just exactly what Craig was saying. I used that as an opportunity to invite people to come and join me to do this service project. I invited people to give me any ideas of service that they were in need of, any kind of thing that we could do. The idea was to do it on a monthly basis so that I could, so that it wasn't like I wasn't doing that every day or every week. It was just something that I could do, that I could build up to. And then once I was there, take pictures of the participants, and then also follow up with people afterwards and say, hey, this is what we did. And Craig had told me that when people see that you are doing these types of events, they'll be like, oh, I missed that. I want to do it next time, kind of a thing. Even if they weren't able to do it, you have that ability to engage with them before, during, and after, and to continue to build that type of that enthusiasm, if you will. So what happened is that I was able to connect with people that I hadn't known before. They were able to put me in contact with other people, and that I created meetings and interactions with people that I would never have been able to find necessarily just on my own, or at least that fast. But I also was working with people that were like-minded, people that were like myself, that enjoyed those types of projects. And I found a whole community of service that was going on, or that is going on. And, and now I'm kind of linked into that. We had, there is another company that does a weekly service project, and I was able to link in with them. So, from that, it just kind of built, and now I have an opportunity to talk to people, not only about real estate, but I'm able to talk to them about something that that is obviously not real estate related, but it lets me put myself in flow with them to get them involved and to have more of a connection with them.
Brian, you don't happen to have one of your business cards right there, do you?
Yeah, hold on a second.
The only reason I'm asking him to do this is because he created a business card, and I think this is a great idea. With that, on one side of it, it talks about this organization that he has created, this opportunity for service, and so when he's able to meet with somebody, it might be even a more natural conversation to mention about a service project that he is hosting and doing before really jumping into real estate, or handing out a business card based upon someone's interest in participating in a service project, and then it's obvious on the other side that he does real estate. And so again, I'm not somebody who believes you should be at all ashamed or embarrassed about what you do. I think that there is, I think what you guys do is amazing. So, but anyway, service projects, and again, I think there's some opportunity for brokerages out there to do some really cool service projects. Here, let's see. So there's Brian's card, the Kindness Adventures, and on the other side is his real estate information, and so people can tie those two things together. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
A question for Brian, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brian, did you do that in a meetup group, or did you just build it off of your own, just meeting people?
So I just did it with my posting it on Facebook. I created an Instagram for that. I tied it to my real estate page, and then I just connected with people that I had met from those meetings.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
How long you been in St. George?
Officially just a few months. I've been kind of transitioning down here for a few, about 6 months, but now I'm here officially for about 2 months now.
So again, I'm not trying to give everyone, I'm not trying to steal his idea and or give it to everyone, but I do think that there is an awesome opportunity for service, and I think it does put you in a certain light. Again, it would require, as Don has been saying the whole time, it's going to require consistency. If you're going to do it and expect any results from it, you're going to have to be consistent at doing it.
Greg, can I share another type of event?
Absolutely, please, Don.
That really was an eye-opener for me, and it's something that I think we all know this, but we forget about this. Okay, I learned this, kind of the McDonald's theme. Invite the children and they will come. Okay. Let me tell you, when I was the principal broker at Realty Path, I took upon myself the chore of, I wanted to have a great event, and we worked very hard and put together around Halloween a trunk or treat, and I had the perfect parking lot for that. We had a buy-in for agents, so it didn't cost anybody very much money. I think the buy-in was $100 an agent, and they got to invite 20 families. And we had a bouncy house. We had a little choo-choo train ride for the kids. We had all these decorated cars and everything. And the first year that we did it, It snowed really hard that morning. This was our first time, and I thought, oh no, nobody's going to come. There's no way they're going to come out in this snowstorm. We had over 500 people show up that evening. We served Navajo tacos because my side of the family are Native Americans, and fed everybody really well. And people, it was a buzz. And I decorated a car simply so that I could talk to all the people that came by. And I asked them, you know, who's the agent that invited you here? And they would tell me, and I said, what do you think about events like this? And, you know, how it ties into your agent and whatnot. They said, are you kidding me? My agent is constantly inviting us to fun things and constantly providing us information. We wouldn't use anybody but our agent. And that wasn't just one person that said that to me. That was a common theme throughout the night when I spoke with people. Yeah. So it taught me a very important lesson. You know, some of our other agents had Easter egg hunts, and I mean, families came by the hordes, you know, and so it's great to understand that a home isn't just the adults that purchase it. A home is a place where the children are going to be too. And when you can touch on their heartstrings and touch on a family as a unit, it really leaves an impression. So
couldn't agree more. I'm with you, and I think that brokerages that help their agents and they host events for them, that is so generous and really kind, because they're not easy to put on. But I mean, my recommendation to anyone who's on here listening is also do your own. Sometimes those brokerage events, I mean, people can get kind of lost in whatnot. Again, not saying anything bad about them at all, but you know, be creative, host your own event, collaborate. When I say collaborate, find a business right now. I mean, right now there would be such an opportunity for maybe you to collaborate with a restaurant that needs help, and maybe you can be that person who says, okay, hey, I've reached out to restaurant such and such, and tonight they're going to be providing tamales. Just, you know, social distancing. Show up to the. You know, I don't know. All I'm saying is be creative, and if you plan it, again, that's the whole point of, if you plan it and you say, okay, I'm going to do an event in June, and again, my point right now is plan an event right now. Plan an event for next month. And what's the worst thing that can happen? We're still in social distancing. You've had an opportunity to invite everybody. You've had an opportunity to remind everybody. You've had an opportunity to cancel it. I joke around all the time and say, the best event is the one in which nobody shows up. I got to invite them. I got to remind them. I got to talk to them. I got to do all this stuff. And then they usually call me and apologize for not coming. They're like, oh, Craig, I'm so sorry I missed your event. I heard it was awesome. I'm like, it totally was. It was amazing. You missed out.
Craig, there's a comment. Crystal Grimes says, I egg my clients' homes for Easter. We have our drawing this Wednesday a.m. for those that posted Facebook pics. It's a lot of fun. And Phyllis Pointer even responded, said, what a fun idea. It's been a real success, been so successful for you.
Yeah.
So,
it was, I watched her videos because what she did was she, you know, got the little eggs together with candies and then put them out at her past clients or neighbors' yards.
Yeah.
And then videoed the kids coming out and seeing all those eggs. And so she posted that on social media. And so, of course, everybody wants their young egged, right? They want something special from Crystal. So they're going to connect with her. And it's that social aspect, and that's that fun. And then it just shows what a wonderful agent she is. She loves her clients. So I thought it was awesome to see. And when she was posting it, I just loved watching those videos, Crystal. That was great.
Invite the kids and they will come. Okay.
I know. I like that one. Yeah, I mean, and the beauty of an event more than almost anything else, I mean, no one's going to get this postcard and be like, oh my gosh, my neighbor really needs this recipe. I better run it over to him, right? I mean, but an event is something that can be so shared on social media, and especially if obviously you're encouraging your people to do that. So, all right, we've only got a few minutes. I know I started a little bit late, but I don't want to run over too much. So, really the day was dedicated to flow. I hope you have a better understanding of flow. I hope you have some resources online. Again, I'll create an email that hopefully can get out to each of you that will have all of these resources just in a really simple way. But hopefully you have some tools in which you feel like you can go and decide on some items. I never even shared this one. This one came to me for the Chinese New Year. They actually gave me a whole $1, and this was probably rather expensive, but either way, figure out what you want to do. And I used to own a magazine, and we would plan out months in advance what we were going to be writing about and the articles and whatever. And so this just requires some planning, and it might only require some planning for the first couple of years, and then you'll probably be really maybe it's like a teacher. You got to plan every single month or every single lesson and every single class for the first year, and then after that it becomes much easier. And so the more you'll plan right now, the easier this will become. What's left in the rest of this in the rest of this chapter, or this section of the book, Principle 3, you've got your Ninja 9. Really, we've gone over a lot of that, so we're not going to do it again. But the 9 habits, the Ninja 9, they call them. Start with daily gratitudes. Number 1, show up. Number 2, write 2 personal notes. That show up. I mean, right now that's more challenging for some of us because we're at home. But I've been getting showered and getting ready and really still acting like it's time to go to work. Number 3, write your 2 personal notes. 4, focus on your hot list and your warm list. That is also on the Facebook page, and it'll come to you in an email. And the hot list and the warm list, just real quickly, there's some information in the book that will talk about them. What I like about them is it's a list that hopefully you can keep with you as you're going about your day. You might be in hot list would be those people who are really ready to purchase or to potentially list their home. The warm list is those people who you feel could easily bounce their way over to the hot list. But keeping that hot list and that warm list with you, I just have it printed out a front and back. These are the people who, when you're walking through an open house with a client, but you're realizing maybe this is the house for somebody else. And it's much easier when you have that hot list right there in front of you of who you're trying to get in contact with, who you're really trying to stay in front of and be in flow with, because they've given you some information, they've given you some reasons why you would believe that they are ready to make that purchase or list their home. So that's 4 and 5. 6, focus on your customer service calls. 7 is schedule 2 live real estate reviews weekly. Number 8 is do 50 live interviews, and people get really intimidated by that or confused by that, and it's not to be intimidating at all. It's just you reaching out to people. They give an example in the book of, like, if you went to the gym and you ended up talking to several of the people at the gym, and not necessarily about real estate. These are part of your connecting with 50 people a week, and inside the planner there's a way of tracking that. And then, which is also this last one, and I think this one's vitally important. Once you realize how the whole system in Ninja is based upon your database and being in flow with that database, then obviously you got to make time every single week for updating your database. Take all those Post-it notes, all those business cards, all those notes that you took inside your planner or wherever it is that you take notes. Make sure that you're going and updating your database. Oh man, 10:02. Okay. So the real estate review, really, there's some information on that on page 137. The real estate annual review, again, I'm not going to be able to go into it in detail, at least not today. This is a real opportunity for you. Once you have that database, you're in flow with it, then obviously you'd want to consider reaching out and trying to schedule 2 annual reviews with your clients. And again, I would highly recommend that to be on their anniversary, and moving forward whenever you have a closing, just informing them that you're going to be contacting them in about a year from now and scheduling to come over and do an annual review. I think this is such a differentiator, and in the book they will talk about that it is the thing that for all the successful agents who's ever used Ninja, they will say that this is the thing that gets them the most amount of business. Again, thinking about referrals, imagine you go sit down with with one of your clients and do an annual review. You might provide them with some very valuable information about their home, about their neighborhood, about the homes that sold, but you also might share with them ideas of how they can start doing investment properties, these kinds of things. Well, they might share that information. They might share that information with their relatives. They might share that information with, but boy, they're going to say, yeah, our real estate agent meets with us every single year and goes over the value of our home. I mean, talk about a differentiator. I just think that this is something, again, I wouldn't necessarily make it a priority today. For most of you, I would say work on that database and work on your flow. But something we should discuss at greater length another time. And there's so much more, but the information, you should have access to all that information, including on 15 post-closing contacts. And then something, let me see if I have one right here. Oh, shoot. Oh, here we go. This is, if you want to talk about a very fun and very easy way of doing flow, this is a suggestion. They didn't exactly suggest it in this way in the book, but I took one of their ideas of fun facts, and I wouldn't necessarily do so many items here, but a great flow item, something to do really easily 12 times a year. This one's fun facts about pets. I have right here fun facts about books. And you could send out via email, social media, whatever, a fun facts, wanting to gather information that ultimately would then be potentially put into your database and would be very valuable to you. So let's look at this fun facts for dogs, or for pets, excuse me. I mean, to know you guys were just talking about an amazing real estate agent going out there and egging a home. Well, what if you knew that they had their dogs' names and the favorite dog park they like to go to, or the doggy daycare they like to go to, and maybe in that closing gift, or whenever you need kind of a gift idea, you have some information. My recommendation in doing this, however, is that if you do fun facts, share the fun facts about you first. Share with them about your pets. Share with them about the information. They're going to be more likely to give information back to you. But this is if you want to talk about a very, very, very simple way of getting in flow with your database every single month, is, fun facts about movies. People will divulge this information all the time, and it can be very valuable to you. It's a way of reaching out and connecting. So anyway, I just wanted to that is going to be it for today. We had, I think, some great conversation about flow. Again, for any of you who need either more help with that, or ideas, or kind of how to do it, feel free to reach out to me personally. I'd be more than happy to help. Let's see, how long did you publish a magazine? My husband and I publish books. We are providing. Okay, so yeah, sorry, I think that was supposed to be private, but so anyway, thank you all so much. I think we've got most of our kinks worked out with Zoom. By Thursday, we'll have any remaining kinks ironed out. But thank you all for coming on today. And please, if you have any questions before we go, hop on right now and ask, or throw them on the chat, or call me directly, or Facebook me, or smoke signal me, or however you want to do it. But anyway, thank you all.
And I just wanted to remind everybody that Cindy Peterson is doing her her listing class at, is it 10:30, Don?
10:30.
She has a
Yeah.
class today. Tomorrow, I will be teaching about Facebook advertising. And then Don is teaching on Thursday. Don, as he said, is going over Breakthrough Broker. So
Breakthrough Broker and a couple of other platforms that,
Right.
Yeah.
that we utilize. So
See, what an
and
amazing time.
this is open to all of our agents, plus anybody who's on this call. So if you're here, it doesn't matter if you're an iPro agent or not, we welcome you to come to our training. So if you're interested in that, just send me a direct message. My name is Michelle Fradella Barfus, and you can just find me on Facebook, and I'd love to share that information with you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Michelle.
Thank you.
And I think that is just proof in what is really possible right now. So again, I would encourage all of you to see if in the next couple of weeks you can't plan an online Zoom type event where you provide your clients with some bit of information that is of value to you. Again, I'm going to plug my event. Hopefully you've seen it, but I'm teaching a class tomorrow night, 5:30 to 6:30. I Am Human Code. This is for all of you. It's for any of your children, your neighbors, your friends, their children, junior high age or older. This is a real deep dive into your affirmations and your ability to program your life for the greatest results humanly possible. There is an effort in doing this. There's an effort to help children, suicide prevention, and giving them some tools and some resources of how to go out there and really program their brain for the best life possible. I don't think we realize how much of our programming is what we say to ourselves, and then what we think, and then those two things added together equals what we believe. And so we'll in this presentation we'll show some examples of how to do that. And so anyway, you're all welcome to join and invite. This is an opportunity for you to get in flow with people. We'll be doing it tomorrow. And then 2 weeks from then, we'll do it again. So if some of you are like, I don't know about this crazy bald ninja guy, I don't know what he's going to be sharing, and if I want to share that with other people, attend tomorrow night. And then 2 weeks from then, you invite all your friends. So again, thank you all so much. Thank you to all the different brokerages and all the agents. I really appreciate your time. And always feel free to reach out to me with anything I can do to help.
Thank you,
Okay,
Craig.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Craig. See you on Thursday, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
No doubt.